Friday, August 14. Welcome to CGN News. Sheikh Abdullah el-Faisal was on Thursday extradited from Jamaica to the United States on terrorism charges. The Jamaican-born Trevor Williams was indicted by the New York City Police Department on 5 counts of terrorism. In 2007, he was deported from the United Kingdom to Jamaica after serving 4 years of a 9-year prison sentence in London. He was convicted of 3 counts of soliciting the murder of Jews, Americans, Hindus, and Christians, and 2 counts of using threatening words to stir up racial hatred. Delroy Chuck, Minister of Justice, signed a surrender warrant on July 29. Private charter flights to Cuba have been suspended by the United States. This according to an announcement on Thursday by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. He said the suspension of the charter flights will deny economic resources to the regime and inhibit its capacity to carry out abuses. Pompeo heavily criticized Cuba for continuing to jail reporters and pro-democracy activists and prop up President Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela, among other offenses. He said his administration will continue to target and cut the revenue the Cuban government earns from landing fees, stays in regime-owned hotels, and other travel-related income. President of Suriname, Chandrika Prasad Santokhi, has tested for COVID-19 after coming in contact with Guyana's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Hugh Todd, the Surinamese media is reporting. Santokhi and Todd met last weekend when the delegation visited and attended President Ifran Ali's inauguration ceremony at the National Cultural Center. Suriname's First Lady, Melissa Santokhi, and the Foreign Minister, Albert Ramdin, who both came in contact with Todd, were also tested. They are awaiting their results. The island of St Lucia has recorded a 100% recovery rate with 0 COVID-related deaths, this according to information from the Ministry of Health. The last 3 patients who were in care have now recovered fully and tested negative for COVID-19. As of Wednesday, there are no reported active COVID-19 cases on the island. The police on Wednesday arrested 8 people after they seized marijuana worth more than 94 million Trinidad and Tobago dollars in central Trinidad. The police reported that extensive intelligence and investigative work has led to major disruption of a transnational organized drug syndicate with connections in Jamaica, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada. In a statement, the police said that a joint police task force with support from the Customs and Excise Department intercepted a container which had reportedly left Port of Spain earlier in the day. 8 people were arrested and the sum of $60,000 was also seized. Overseas now, the official Palestinian news agency says the Palestinian ambassador to the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, is being recalled. The move comes after the UAE and Israel announced a deal on Thursday to establish full diplomatic ties that would see Israel suspend its plans to annex parts of the West Bank. The Palestinians have slammed the deal, calling it a betrayal of the Palestinian cause, and have demanded its retraction. The historic deal delivered a key foreign policy victory to President Donald Trump as he seeks re-election. A spokesman for Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas said the deal amounts to treason and should be reversed. The Trump administration has seized the cargo of 4 tankers it was targeting for transporting Iranian fuel to Venezuela, U.S. officials say. Last month, federal prosecutors in Washington filed a civil forfeiture complaint alleging that the sale was arranged by a businessman with ties to Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, a U.S.-designated foreign terrorist organization. A senior U.S. official told the Associated Press that no military force was used in the seizures and that the ships weren't physically confiscated. Rather, U.S. officials threatened ship owners, insurers, and captains with sanctions to force them to hand over their cargo, which now becomes U.S. property. However, Iran's ambassador to Venezuela pushed back on what would appear a victory for the U.S. sanctions campaign, saying Thursday on Twitter that neither the ships nor the owners were Iranian. He dismissed it as another lie, an act of psychological warfare perpetrated by the U.S. propaganda machine. Belarus's main opposition figure, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, has called for an end to violence against protesters while urging more rallies this weekend. Freed detainees have given details of beatings during days in custody that Amnesty International said suggested widespread torture. Detained for 7 hours herself after Sunday's disputed presidential vote, Ms. Tikhanovskaya has fled to Lithuania. With the European Union mulling new sanctions, Belarus promised to free all detainees. Some 6,700 have been detained since protests erupted on Sunday evening. Belarus is seeing a sixth day of protests since the presidential vote rejected by the EU and the US as neither free nor fair. Alexander Lukashenko, in power since 1994, was declared the victor by election authorities, but Tikhanovskaya's supporters insist she won. The Consulate of Ethiopia in Kingston, through its outreach program Ethiopia-Jamaica Connection, has been supporting the vulnerable and affected people in Kingston during the period of the COVID-19 pandemic. As a part of the Consulate's Ethiopia-Jamaica Connection program, it distributed over 1,000 care packages of food items, personal care items, face masks and hand sanitizers to the members of the 2 churches in Waltham Park and in other communities in the Kingston area. Honorary Consul Judith Hilton said that the Ethiopian government and people hope that this contribution will bring some temporary relief as well as connect the 2 countries' people and governments. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.